Go live. Going live, going live, going live. And we are live. Welcome, welcome everybody to, I guess you could say, the first episode. Technically not the first episode of What's in the News, but as you could see, it's a little bit different than what if you caught the Ohmies and my show on Saturday. I told you things were going to be a little bit changing up a little bit on my Wednesday show, and this is what it is. Welcome my new co-host for What's in the News, the Angry Hippy himself, Sean Typhon. And we're about to freaking go ham on this thing, and we're going to start something fucking cool. I'm excited. So yeah, this is the first installment of, I guess you could say, What's in the News with Poonsauce and Angry Hippy. So welcome everybody. So before we get into the dang thing, season 2 already? Yeah, look, it's like a... yeah, I guess some.
Season 2, let's call this season 1.5. This is like The Walking Dead when they took the hiatus and then hit you with like the next half of the season.
Well, you know how like some shows take like those 3-month breaks for like summer stuff, or like when they have like different seasons come out. This is what happened.
Exactly.
I took a little bit, like maybe like a couple week break, and I found a typhon. I don't know how it happened, but it did. What is going on, everybody? Well, before we get into this little bit of a heated discussion, and it's going to be a feisty one, I guess we could say, why don't we just go off of what we're vaping on, Rick? Sean, what are you vaping on, man?
Okay, well, let's start with this guy. And if you guys watch any of the shows, you already know I got the focus button, so we're going to hit the button. Bang. That would be the Unicorn setup, the Unicorn MDX Red Knurled Edition with the Unicorn RDA on top. Getting that match game super lovely with that button. Inside of that, we've got the last of a bottle of Skipper Milk Pot. And because I expect that I'm literally going to empty this the next time I vape it.
Hold on, Sean. Hold on. Saying audio's low. What the hell?
What are you doing to me?
Why is it saying Sean's in a tin can? I don't know. What?
What's going on here?
I don't know. What the hell is... Hold on. I'm working on it. Hold on. What do I do? Oh, shit. Properties.
What's going on here?
I don't know. What the hell happened? What's going on? Hello. You guys hear me good? Okay.
Sounds like an air traffic controller from Josh. This is yours.
Hold on. I'm working on it. Don't be... what the fuck? See, the desktop audio should be going through. Why isn't it going through? What the shit?
What's in the news episode if we didn't have something silly happening?
God damn. I know you guys. Hold on. What happened? Let's see. How do we fix this? I don't know. I'm trying to figure out how to fix this. OBS, what are you doing? Why are you being a douche nozzle? I don't understand this. Your audio on your end should be fine, right?
Yeah, I'm cranked all the way to the top.
What is happening?
Oh my goodness. We're going full potato today.
Oh, echo. What? Why is this happening? Jesus, mother of mercy.
This is...
Oh,
incredible.
I don't understand.
We broke it.
Echo. Is there still echo?
We broke it.
I broke OBS. What the hell happened? Is it still echoing? I don't know. Why is this shit happening to me? This always happens. I don't know how to fix it.
Oh my gosh.
Audio. Desktop audio device. Default. Now it's saying Sean's worse. That makes no sense. I don't know what's happening. Mother of pearl. Fire on the poop deck.
The luck of the Janklin, he said.
I need some. I don't know why it's not working. What did I do? Share desktop audio. How do I do that again? What did I do? See, I thought it would just be the same settings as Saturday, and we had no problem Saturday, and now it's doing this bull crap. What the hell? This is why I can't have nice things. These were the vape gods telling me that this wasn't going to happen, but I'm gonna make it happen. Hold on. See, it's not. Hold on. No, I probably already have it, Dan. Hold on. Undo adjust mic. What? Create output projector, maybe? Let's see if this does it. Hold on, people. Hold on. No, what the hell? Oh, Swaggy's here. Swags! I don't know what happened. Shit. Hey, at least you guys get some comedy. That happens first. Wait, what? Swag came in and then left. What? Swaggy? Is he here? No, he's not here. I'm just losing my mind. Oh my god. Jesus. Why isn't the desktop audio working? Properties. How about now? Try talking, Sean.
Hi, everybody. Yes? Maybe? No?
Hold on. I think we might have gotten it because it's going through now.
Oh, shit.
Swags, I think we got it working.
Vapor Swaggins.
God damn it.
In the Dunkel mask.
Hold on. Is it working now? Sean's talking. Does it get better? I need to hear if it got better or
Straight
not.
from over the pond, we are being told that the
Yes, it works. Okay,
How
it's
good
better
show,
now.
Poonsauce.
It's better now.
Okay,
Holy
dog.
shit.
What do you know? Cheers to you, the vape gods. I will sacrifice this beverage for you now. Thank you. Any hoodly.
Okay, let's retract a little bit here.
I am so glad everybody enjoyed my silent film Vanna White displays. Let's go back to that whole focus button nonsense that I do because, you know, people got to see that shit up close, right? So, bang! Look at that. That is a unicorn MDX. Red knurled. You know it. With a unicorn RDA on top. Button and drip tip match game on point. Because, you know, when you do shows with Frames Janklin, you got to match your shit just right. Finishing off a bottle of Skipper Milk Pie. That's why it's upside down, because I'm literally going to kill this during this show tonight, because I could probably drip it one more time. So when I kill it, Calumet Theater is going to come in for the cleanup, because this is a pretty interesting whipped peanut butter pie they got going on here. So, yeah, that's what I'm doing there. Next up, you guys kind of saw me Vanna White this like a mother. That's the Dreamer. That's the, you know this guy, everybody, right? The Ardent. We all know this combo by this point. If you ain't got one, what are you sleeping on? A rock? Anyway, inside that transistor, a little bit of that respect, because sometimes we need a little bit of respect in our lives. And to be fair, this is a banging cherry. It tastes just like real maraschino cherries and whipped cream. They did it right, and respect to them for that. And lastly, you guys have seen this thing in a bunch of variations, but this is its newest variation. Super green with the clear acrylic green doors now. It's the micro. Got the clear acrylic button going. Black capped GR1 this time. That's right, the micro. Custom creations. These guys don't even exist anymore, so super proud to own this. And inside, yeah, he shut it down. And in that, we're finishing off that Pillage from Wicked Angel Vapor Company. And this is a nice tropical punch with a little hint of menthol on the GR1. It's fantastic, and it complements my beverage perfectly. That's it for me. Passing it back to you, Poon Pants.
Okay. What do I got? So, first of all, I got my Death Wish mods infected with series 2700, 2650, 18650 with the Death Trap V2. And inside of there, I got, where'd the bottle go? There it is. Some Uncle Chris's Overdrips vanilla custard. And then where the hell did that setup go? Oh, it's right here. Okay. I was gonna tell myself I was gonna take a break from this setup, but then I was like, I enjoyed it so much I had to put something else back in there. So it's still rocking the Dreamer Black Copper with the gold Rebirth RTA. And inside of there, I got some super steeped, like super like caramel looking shit. Vanilla Bourbon Custard by Ordnance Vapor Company that is like on hiatus. Has been on hiatus for like the past 2 years. It's a good friend of mine's juice company that I don't know if they'll ever come back. I hope they do because I love their stuff. And that's what I got in there. And then decided to clean this setup and pull it back out because I forgot how much I enjoyed this mod in RDA. But I got my Brizzo, my Transistor Edition, and my APOC 25. Big shout out to Transistor for gifting me this thing. I would have never expected to have the owner give me this, but I love it. So, and in there, Dan, you'll finally be proud of me because I got some Millionaire Mango in there. Also, like, super steep. Look at that gold. It's like matching the labels.
Wow.
And then I got my Zero with some Crumbs Drops Flaky French. And then finally, last but not least, I got my Stan Tater.
The Tenacious Tater!
He just goes around everywhere. Fuck you, Stan. No, just kidding. Love you, Stan. That's pretty much all I got.
Yeah, buddy.
For VP setups.
I think you might need to start a new Instagram for the Tenacious Tater.
The Tenacious Tater, and just like take pictures of it places.
Exactly.
Like it has its own life.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Tenacious Tater. You have no idea. You'll go viral in no time.
Just a tater.
Yep. People who don't even vape will be like, it's a weird potato with somebody's face on it. That's why I follow him.
Man, I don't even know who the person is. He just sent me a picture of his face with a potato on it.
It's just this guy with a potato face. Face for a tater. Tater for a face.
Now it is time. It's down and dirty. Last week. Was it last week? No, technically this week, I think.
4 or 5 days ago at this point, speaking of the week, yeah.
We found out some interesting news. Our good old buddy, Mr. Scott Gottlieb, resurfaced again. We thought we wouldn't need to hear from him anymore after he stepped down from the FDA, stepped down from being the chairman, and wanted to, like, I guess he was saying, wanted to spend more time with his family and be a family man, I guess. Well, he is back. And now he decided to take the role of being on the board of directors with Pfizer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you guys don't know who Pfizer is, it's a pharmaceutical company is also the company that creates pharmaceutical drugs like Chantix, which is known for causing suicide and all kinds of other fucked up shit to happen to you. So, I don't know. My tinfoil hat came out pretty quick after I heard about this because, first of all, how the fuck is somebody that was head of the FDA gonna go switch fucking sides? I wouldn't say switch sides, but go straight to the fucking pharmaceutical company that creates their kind of a nicotine alternative product. I was reading Angela Garrity's article on Vaping, and at the very bottom she was hit it at the like, how is this legal? I don't understand, because there has to be some kind of thing to where you're kind of dealing to both sides. I don't know.
Yeah, so basically, for those if anybody's followed this a little bit closely, you might be aware that just yesterday, Senator Liz Warren, who I have the grave misfortune of being represented by, actually sent a letter to Scott Gottlieb slamming him for this move. Because even she said, and I actually wrote this quote down because I loved the choice of words, because she said the whole thing smacks of corruption. And to be fair, just from an outsider standpoint, because we have to understand Liz Warren is no friend of vaping. I've written her several times. She has drank the Kool-Aid. She genuinely believes vaping is bad. So she's no friend to us. But even she, from that outsider perspective, looks at it and goes, bullshit. This ain't right. How is this not legal? Or how is this not illegal, I should say. So that is, something that's even noteworthy is that we have a senator who is trying to run for the Democratic nomination, and even she called out Scott Gottlieb for this. It's a pretty damn big deal because he spent roughly, from 2017 till April of this year. So he's got a couple of good, solid years under his belt working as the regulatory commissioner for the FDA. Now, I'd like to point out that in that time, there were 179 drug recalls under his watch. Not exactly, because that figure actually runs up to just this week. So obviously there's
179, you said?
Yeah, so there's probably like 175, because I didn't dig deep enough to get into that. Okay. But over 170 drug recalls during his watch. To put some other things into perspective about his tenure at the FDA. Now, these are data points taken from the National Institute on Drug Abuse, and in the year of 2017, his first year as the FDA commissioner, there were 70,237 overdose deaths. Of those, 47,600 of them were opiate overdose deaths. And of those, 17,029 prescription opiate deaths in the year of 2017 alone. That is the most recent data I could dig up. So 17,000 prescription opioid deaths in his first year as the FDA commissioner. And during that time, he made vaping the enemy, and he continued to allow the proliferation of these dangerous opioids to make it out onto the streets. And then what did he do? He left in April, and a few months later decides to hop on the board of Pfizer, who also makes these damn opiates that are killing over 17,000 people in a single year. Talk about corruption.
The crazy thing is, too, he was the one that kind of put out there that the epidemic out in the world is the kids are getting on vaping. It's that their kids are finding nicotine way too easily, and it's like, oh yeah, we're getting all these kids that are starting to vape, and they're going to get moved on to cigarettes. No, that's not going to fucking happen. First of all, the real epidemic, me and you can both agree on this, is the opioid crisis. Obviously, over 17,000 deaths since 2017. Prescription, that means these people went to a doctor, got prescribed this stuff, and took it because they thought it was going to help them, and they fucking died. But let that sit there for a second.
Yeah, like, let's be honest. I'm sure a lot of them got to a point of abuse as well. Yeah. But still, these are 17,000 people in a single year in the United States who lost their lives to a prescription drug.
And to put this into a little bit more perspective, too, so you can realize the amount of 17,000 people. The town I live in, Streamwood, Illinois, I don't really care if people know, has a population of 24,000. So think of everybody that lived in my city. Over almost half of them in one city died. Mm-hmm. Just like that.
Gone.
Think of how many people 17,000 people is in one year.
Let's think back to our high school years, right? Like, that might have been your entire high school. 17,000 kids for all the classes. Like, that could have been an entire high school worth of people wiped out. That is a shitload of people. But he chose to use his platform to fight vaping and help to proliferate this teen vaping epidemic, which obviously, right as he skirted his way out, we had the data to show that, oh, hey, you really hyperinflated those numbers. And actually, it's more like there's 6 or 10% of kids vaping, which...
Those numbers were made up.
You know,
they literally just pulled them out of their ass and saying, this looks reasonable to make people fear it.
So it leads you down this road, right? What was the point? The point was to protect a revenue stream. Now, in one of the articles that I looked up, I believe it was from CNBC, they actually mentioned a couple of new other organizations that Gottlieb has also begun to work with. One of which I found really interesting, which is AEI. They are a conservative research think tank. So that is the American Enterprise Institute. He's a fellow there. So what does the American Enterprise Institute do? They do research and analysis on policy issues, and these policies range in economics, foreign and defense policy, healthcare, education, politics, and public opinion. There's also a handful of other things, but quite clearly we can all agree he's going into the healthcare side of what they do. And what they do is provide our elected officials with research that, you know, swings on their bias in order to help push public policy that they believe is best for everybody else. Now, on top of that, he also works for another organization as well now. And this organization happens to be called, where are we? He's a special partner with a venture capitalist firm. They're called New Enterprise Associates. And who are they and what do they do? Well, they're a venture capital firm. And what they do is they invest in technology and healthcare. Hey, the guy who kept pushing for innovation in healthcare and health technology, and now he's working with a venture capitalist helping to advise people on how to take those biotech dollars and put them in the right places, as well as being a board member on Pfizer. And thankfully, this organization had the decency to warn us about this. They're also a CNBC contributor now. So he's also got himself a little media dollars. So the dollars, let's get into this for real quick. Just as the Pfizer board member, all right, public records have shown board members make a paid minimum of $335,000 in stocks and cash combined. So we're looking at a man who just raked in a fantastic, quick, easy 6 figures to sit on a board and make some decisions between his stocks that he's going to get, as well as the actual payout.
And you think about it too, with him being board of directors, it's going to give him the opportunity to have more stocks instantly. Like it's like you get starting a job somewhere, and I would say, like if you're trying to build your way up through a company, you would start at the bottom. Like say, for example, where I work in an electrical distributor. You're starting at the beginning of you starting at the company. You start in the warehouse. That's pretty much the bottom. You're picking orders and all the thing, and then you gradually move yourself up through the ranks. No, this guy Scott has such a reputation with the FDA, and the Pfizer saw everything that he was doing, all the regulations that he was creating. They're like, okay, what this guy is doing can make us a shit ton of money. So why not bring him all the way to the fucking top, add him to the board of directors, and have all these ideas that he put, and all these things that he put into place benefit us and make them so much money they won't even be able to fucking count it. And
right.
That's what their plan is.
And that's the thing, right? Is that all 3 of these organizations benefit from that knowledge and experience dramatically, because this is the dude who literally helped to set up a lot of new restrictions and new regulations, as well as helped to roll back restrictions and regulations, as well as the man who saw the playbook and understands them completely inside and out. So at this point, they've got their hands in a ton of stuff. And I mean, I see Michelle Lynn saying right in the chat, don't think that's how big pharma works. There's a lot to be said about that argument, but at the same time, we can all agree that having somebody who understands how the regulatory system works helps you understand how to develop a product and market a product in a way that completely adheres within those regulations, not to mention also finds the loopholes, because let's face it. You're going to
be able to find the loopholes because you have the guy who created the freaking regulations. You have the guy who thought of those regulations and put them into place through the FDA. So as a business, as a company, why would you not take that guy along to be one of the big decision makers with your company, with coming out with different products? How much you want to bet that within the next 5 years, easily, they're going to come out with a nicotine replacement system or a nicotine alternative that is going to be able to go through all these PMTAs easily. They're going to get bumped to the top, saying, I would be surprised if they don't even have to spend money. With how deep he has his fingers into this, they might find a loophole through that, to where they're automatically put through as FDA approved.
I mean, they'll still have to go through a PMTA process, but as a pharmaceutical, they have a slightly different process. So like PMTAs for tobacco products, if they're marketing a pharmaceutical tobacco nicotine replacement, which is what they do. Can't remember what Pfizer makes, if it's the lozenge or what. But I believe they already manufacture a nicotine replacement therapy. So this will give them the opportunity to see these waters and navigate them in a very efficient manner. So I expect that we're going to see a whole host of pharmaceutical products made from Pfizer hitting the market with extreme quickness. And I mean, let's be real. Some of them are probably going to be good products.
Maybe. You never know.
This is the thing, is that, I mean, Pfizer creates a lot of medications that people take on a daily basis that some people need to live on. So I can't completely demonize them, but at the same time, it's part of this medical industrial complex that we have in this country, where wealth is created by capitalist means, but they have this ability to control the supply of the drug. And as such, they're able to begin to inflate the cost. People have seen it time and time again. You know, in the news, we had the pharma bro, as they called him, the guy that inflated, what was it? Was it an insulin product, I think it was?
Just came out with one, the Nicotrol inhaler.
There you go. So, I mean, the Nicotrol inhaler, that could be a separate show all in itself, because there's a goddamn product that has every ingredient that vaping has, plus a shitload of preservatives and other stuff, and that's FDA approved, but vaping isn't. All 4 ingredients in e-liquid are part of the Nicotrol inhaler, and the Nicotrol inhaler has a bunch of other additives and preservatives and nonsense.
And added chemicals that are not necessary.
That's FDA approved. Vaping isn't. It's utter madness. But this is the system that we're in. I mean, this goes on through every echelon here. I mean, we can talk about the medical industrial complex. We can talk about a military industrial complex. At the end of the day, big business runs this country. And until there's a point where we as people finally say we've had enough and we need a change, nothing's going to happen, because let's face it, for every one good politician, there's 150 more who are going to shut that person down. I look at this chick, AOC, right? She's got some wild ideas in her head, and she's trying to do good things, and there isn't a single politician I've seen that likes her.
No, the reason why they don't like her is because they don't agree on she won't agree on their policies.
Exactly. So she wants to create changes for the people. She kind of sees this vision. I mean, we were all brought up with this concept that government for the people, by the people. And let's be honest, as we grow up, we get cynical and we start to feel like, forget it, man. That's not how government works, but I can't fight City Hall. I mean, that's nonsense.
You can't fight City Hall on your own.
That's right.
If you
One
had a
man
mass
can't do
of
it.
maybe like 5,000 people behind you, they have to answer to you. So the times where you hear us all saying we all need to stand together and stop shit like this from happening, we mean it from a wholehearted standpoint, because if you think about if all the think of back in the civil rights movement, how that happened. During the Vietnam War, all these people standing at Capitol Hill. Everybody standing there. What did they they had to answer to hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people. We can't be just keyboard warriors anymore.
See that name right there? Angry Hippy? Angry Hippy. That was the thing about those hippie forefathers back then during the Vietnam era. They got fucking angry. They said, this is bullshit, and we're not going to take it. What happened? I mean, I have my theories of what happened, but that's exactly what's happening. We need that. We need people to get angry about it. I think about the gun lobby when I think about vaping, because the gun lobby is so vast. And there are gun owners all over the place.
We talked about this on Saturday, how you were saying to where, let's say, I live in Chicago, you live in Mass. So a legislation came through in Illinois to where they were going to be more strict on gun laws. People from Massachusetts and all over the country are speaking out, standing with each other, even if they're hundreds and thousands of miles away from each other, saying, we're not going to let this happen to our brothers in a different state. Exactly. And that is what we don't have. We're not. They're a unified front. People may not agree on the front they're trying to promote and stand by, but I was raised on the belief of, if you believe in something, fight for it and believe in it until the day you fucking die. If you stand for nothing, you will fall for anything. And that's what's happening. People don't stand for anything anymore. And God damn it, that's why we're all here in this chat. That's why we're watching this channel. That's why we do what we do.
because we stand for something. I had a conversation with the district manager of the company I work for today, and I explained to him, like, dude, no, I don't want to be a manager for your company because this isn't where my heart is. My heart is in saving lives. After years of turning people onto this technology and seeing in their eyes the genuine love for finding something that finally got them off of cigarettes, that's why I'm fired up. That's why I stay angry, because God damn it, people are losing their rights every day. The state of Vermont, which is literally right next door to me, is losing their right to purchase online. They have a 92% wholesale tax that is going to literally shut down every brick and mortar. They put T21 into effect. So now, great, you're 18, you can't get vape shit, and now you're hooked on tobacco because you need a nicotine fix. This is ass backwards. They preach and preach and preach about public health and then do shit that does not support that notion. And we, and I don't mean those of us watching, but I mean we as a general public, you sit back and accept it. And it's utter madness. If we can fire up two people, like I'm fired up right now, and they can fire up two people, like I'm fired up right now, could you imagine how fast this would spread? Not just for the fact that they're taking away vaping, but the fact that they're taking away an adult's right to choose.
With all these legislations coming out, they're taking away little by little of what it means to be a free American, what it means to be a free human being in this country. Every little legislation they're coming out with is chopping away at your freedom. And we're all just sitting by and letting it happen. I mean,
there's a quote I love that says, there's two types of imprisonment. One's where you're standing inside a cell and you can see the bars and you know that you're in prison. The other, you can't see the bars and you think you're free. That's what we're dealing with, is these rights getting taken away. Because today, it's my right to choose if I want to vape instead of smoke cigarettes. Tomorrow, it could be my right to choose to have a black car. And the next day, it could be the right to choose something else. And you give an inch, they'll take a mile. I don't want to give this up. I don't want to give up my right to own a firearm if I choose. I don't want to give up any of the rights that I'm supposed to have as a human being. I'm not hurting anybody, and I'm certainly not hurting myself when I'm doing this. So what's the goddamn problem? The problem is I'm hurting some rich asshole's pocketbook. Well, fuck him and his Lamborghini. Point blank. This is about public health.
Definitely. You see all these different other countries have public health. All these public health, unified public health may be flawed, but it shows its strong suits. We see it in Canada. We see it in the UK. It may take you 6 months to see a doctor, but think of it. The government is not going to stand by and put stuff on the market that is going to hurt people when they're going to be the ones having to spend the money to help get those people healthy again. They're not going to want to do that. They're going to be, it's like they would be creating legislation to empty their wallets. You see how the UK is doing it. You see how they're creating legislation to pretty much force people to find vaping. They don't want anything out there that's going to cause them to take the money out of their wallet. Because all governments are the same. They're still going to want to keep all the money. They still want to keep as much money as possible. But the difference is between the U.S. and all these other unified healthcares out there is that if they're going to put out a red legislation, it's going to put out something that will make people healthier because their wallets will stay protected. Not creating legislations out there that will be to where... Crap, I just lost my train of thought. Putting stuff out there to where you're causing people to take the unhealthier alternative. You're putting legislation out there to pretty much put people's foot in the grave before they even have the opportunity to choose. People have the opportunity to choose if they want to vape. People have the opportunity to choose if they want to smoke. With these legislations coming out, they're saying, no, you're doing what we want you to do. And if we want you to do something that will kill you, we're just going to dig the hole for you right now. You can slowly start stepping into it for the next 10, 15 years. But we're going to get it started for you. That's exactly what is happening right now.
We have the rights, man. We have the right to choose. Vote with your dollars, guys. That's one of my favorite things I tell everybody. Vote with your dollars. You know what I'm saying? Because when you look into these politicians and you see who's paying them, you can sometimes make some decisions that'll hurt those wallets. I mean, you can do that. You can talk to people about rights. Because at this point, it's not about whether or not they approve of vaping anymore. It's about, hey, do you realize that your neighbor's rights are being taken away from them? And they're going to go, wait, what? Yeah, man, right to choose a less harmful alternative to smoking. Blah, blah, blah. Could you imagine if people really thought about the fact that their rights were being taken away? I watched a kid recently make a decision. One of the guys I work with, he's getting stressed. He doesn't want to smoke cigarettes. So what did he do? He bought himself a little Poc-X and a 3 milligram liquid, and now he can get a little edge off when he's at work and he's feeling strung out, and he's happy. Holy smokes. Why would you take that man's right to choose away? Why would you say no? It's the old way or the highway. I mean, the knowledge is there. It takes me 5 minutes and I can start digging up all of the money that's going to these politicians. It's public information, guys. Public. You can see it with your own eyes.
All this information is at your fingertips. I see everybody, I'm me included. I'm usually a person, I'll take responsibility. I'm usually a person with my phone in my hand. Either playing a game or looking up stuff or just reading something. It's literally typing your fingers on a keyboard to find out this information. Like you said, it is all public. All this can be held, but all this can be found by just doing this. That's it. This isn't bullshit that we're spewing. This isn't lies and propaganda like the government wants you to believe in their ideas. That is the lies and the propaganda. Trying to put fear into the people's eyes. And everything that you need to see, need to hear is right in the palm of your hand. We have the technology to do it. We have the technology to show people what is actually happening. We're just not taking advantage of it.
Yep. So to get back on track, I think we can summarize today's show with this one sentiment. Fuck Scott Gottlieb. What an asshole.
I'm going to send him some pairs of socks, and I'm going to take a crap in them. Because then he's going to put his foot in them, and he's going to be like squishy squashy, like a little Play-Doh set, and it's going to be like nasty. And
well, I mean, really, like if you wanted to be creative, if you really wanted to be creative, I'm saying, if you got some time, what did I say? 17,029 prescription opioid deaths in the year 2017? Do you imagine if you printed out even half of those obituaries and mailed them to Scott Gottlieb as a reminder of what prescription opioids have done? And remind him that's only half of 17,000.
And also, think of all the people that have died to tobacco-related illness. Think of how many letters you could send him with those as well.
Yeah. I mean,
because the legislations he's helped put through is to keep the cigarettes in your hand. If you look at the facts, like I said, look at all the information's there. Most of the legislation out there has made it to where people continue to smoke.
Yep. Or maybe we could do it simple. You could just, print out the Royal College of Physician Studies and we could all mail that to them. Be a little less dramatic, but hey. But yeah, guys, I mean, plain and simple, that that's where we're at. You know, we've got outward corruption. And I think one of the most interesting things that somebody had pointed out to me was that, you know, our president ran on a platform that he was going to drain the swamp. He's going to try to clean up this corruption and backroom dealing that goes on in politics. And if nothing else, this shows that that's never going to happen.
No.
No one's ever going to clean the swamp.
Do you know the only people who have the ability to clean the swamp? To get rid of the corruption? Look in a mirror. You're the person who has the ability to get rid of the corruption in this world. Do you know how you're going to do it? Your voice.
I said it before, lover or hater. That Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, I think, or I'm screwing her name up really bad. I know it. But that's literally an example of people going, nah, dude, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, you're cool, and fuck you. And they voted some chick who was a waitress as a senator. Because you know what? She made some sense to some angry people. They did it. That's one example of it actually working. You can do it, guys. We can do it. But we got to fire up a whole lot more people. Because I'll be honest, I look at numbers, man, and I know that like our numbers aren't strong enough as just vapors.
No. We can't win this fight by just being a community of vapors. We have to win this fight as a community of people who will stand against corruption, stand against people who will go against what is right and what is common sense. People who think that we're in a free country, how all the freedoms that we have in this country are like we take them for granted. No, if this was a real free country, shit like this wouldn't be happening. I mean, it's not going to happen to where this kind of a democracy is not going to be a dictatorship overnight. It's going to take many years and many different little legislations they have to put into place to where they're slowly going to get their foot in the door. And eventually we're going to get to the point to where they're almost fully through the door and we're not going to be able to close it on them. We have us as a community, man. Us as a populace of people have a noose around our necks right now. And what are with Big Pharma and the government, what are they doing? They're just slowly tightening it. Tightening and tightening until we don't have room to breathe. And we're going to choke on... And all we're going to do is choke on these legislations. And we're the only people out there that had the ability to say, no, we're not going to take this anymore. It's crazy how something like Scott Gottlieb completely changing face and going to something that I'm not really surprised that he did. I'm disappointed, mostly, because you think as a human being would have compassion, have the ability to show human emotions. And seeing that happen is just, it bums me out, it upsets me, it pisses me off that we let something like this happen.
And even worse, that we have no recourse to stop it.
No, we don't.
I mean, yeah. You know, I think that's a great place for us to kind of bring everybody back to
reality.
A positive point now. You know, we can do this, guys. I mean, it's an uphill battle, and it's going to get worse before it gets better. I've said it a million times, and I'll continue to say it. But at the end of the day, we can do this.
There is always light at the end of the tunnel. In this situation, we have to create that light. We have to dig down deep within ourselves and just believe that we can make a change. That's what it comes down to. We may seem like we're pissed off, because we are. We may seem like we're ranting, because we are. But all of this is for the betterment of everybody out here now and people in the future to come.
Absolutely. Guys, remember the smokers out there. That's what we're in this for. We're not just in this for us. We're in this to save smokers. Conversion is key. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, it's simple as that. It's one of those things. So
You guys know it. I say it all the time. Don't let the bastards get you down. That's the key, man. Don't let the bastards get you down. This is going to happen. We're going to have struggles, but you can't let it get you down. You know,
this can
keep
positive
fighting.
things can happen. And like, I'm gonna quote this because Breeze Tone says it all the time, and I am 112% behind it. 2019 is the year of the uprising. It needs to happen, and it will happen. On that note, guys, I think it's time for us to sign off. I'd like to thank all of you for tuning in and listening to what we have to say and tolerating us as we go off on tangents. Prepare for a lot of this. We're going to try to inform you guys on a lot of stuff that's going on. And be prepared. We're going to be standing there right behind Breeze Tones. It's the year of the uprising, people, and we're right there with it.
Fight the power, guys.
I'm Poonsauce. He's the Angry Hippy. And yeah, we're out. Have a good one.
Keep fighting, guys. We actually